All right. Well, I'm so glad that everyone could make it, those of you who are able to tonight. And then I know we're going to have a replay that people can watch if they were not able to make it, because I know life is busy and I feel like right around Memorial Day, it's everybody's going in a ton of directions with graduations and, the going on vacation and all of those things. So, thankfully, technology gives us the option of having a replay. But I'm going to let Adrienne share a little bit about what made her want to share the technology of cellular activation with others. So I'm going to turn it over to her and let her share her story.
Thanks, Mary, for co-hosting this with me. I was first introduced to LifeVantage products by Mary about year and a half ago, and got connected with the Mind Body Aloha team through her. And it's really helped me with activation for mental health purposes, and cognitive um, cognitive help, as well as I was diagnosed with PCOS in my 20s, and I don't know if people are not familiar with that. It's kind of a nasty disease, and um, so there's a lot of complications with that. And once I got activated, I got an ultrasound done, and it turns out I don't meet the criteria anymore for PCOS. So, and I never thought that would ever happen. So that actually is huge in my mind, because as I've shared this with Susan, and I think Mary as well, I was actually a little skeptical. Like, I was told by doctors, PCOS will never clear up. It's something that's incurable. And I this past summer, wait, no, last summer actually, we're getting ready to go into another summer. I don't meet the criteria anymore. And then I think I shared this with MH and Mary last year. I used to have this big red rosacea mark right here. And through the collagen, that's gone away. I mean, I can still see a little, but as we've talked about, the goal is not perfection, but being more activated and more healthy. So the products have actually really helped me like threefold and plus. So that's why I'm excited to share, because it's really amazing, as well as the group of people within Mind Body Aloha. I've done a lot of the breathing exercises with Susan and Jamie, and and there's so many fun and exciting things that are coming out that Mary can share within our group that we're getting ready to be doing online and everything. So thank you so much, Mary. And if anybody has any further questions about any of those things, feel free to reach out to me.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Adrienne. And then, depending on time, we might have some time at the end to talk and answer questions if anybody has anything. And it's a small group live, so we can do that if you want to. And what I so appreciate about the people on this call is the community and the knowledge. So much wellness knowledge here in the group. It's just awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because I'm a visual person. And if you are too, you'll want to see this information. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. And so does everybody see the screen? Are we good?
Yep,
Okay.
I see it.
Okay, awesome. So I wanted to start out by asking a question. So you may not have thought about this at all or recently, but when you get to the end of your life journey, what do you want that to look like? Or what will that look like for you? We just recently got back from France, and this image that I am sharing here was on the side of a building, of a house, in a traveled area of my fiance's hometown. And the words on the image say, on that little black box, say, "An image will arise." And as soon as I saw that, I said, I know I'm coming back to this spot to take a picture of this before we go back to America. So I had to stop back and take a picture of this, but it just made me think, what image will arise in our lives. And I think it's important to think about how we want to end, because as Stephen Covey teaches, you have to start with the end in mind. And unless you do that, you'll get the life that just happens. But we have so much more control over the creation of our lives than I think we give ourselves credit for. And so that's why I wanted to start with that question. An image will arise. So what will that image be for you? And, what can we do to deliberately create the picture that we want, the image that we want? So just something to think about as we get started today. So Adrienne and I are here to share about how we can biohack our holistic wellness. And Adrienne and I are both passionate about holistic wellness because we both know that you cannot separate parts of yourself. You can't separate your mind, your body, your spirit. It's all connected. And I'm so thankful that I have met Adrienne, and it's awesome that Angela's on the call too. We met at West Point, and which was when I was in high school, she was a freshman at West Point, and I had gone to this visit where I went and got to hang out with some of the basketball players. So that Adrienne was one of them, and so was Angela. So that's pretty awesome, just the connections. So I'm so thankful that Adrienne and I have been able to reconnect here in Colorado, and we've had some good times and been able to just share our passion of holistic wellness. And Adrienne went back to school. She's going to school for arts. And so she's using her art for mental health awareness and to just integrate that as well into holistic wellness. So that is just awesome, I think. So do you ever feel like life is a little bit like the Hunger Games movie? Sometimes I feel like that. It's like, good luck. May the odds be ever in your favor. But when we're trying to be healthy and well in this modern age, especially in a Western culture, there is so much that is stacked up against us. And it is so important for us to know who our enemies are, but also to know who our allies are. So I'm going to share a little bit about both of those things today. So when it comes to our wellness, there's a ton of things that impact our bodies and can even change the way our genes are expressed. So they're not all good and they're not all bad. It's like a continuum. For example, exercise. Not enough exercise can be detrimental to your health, but also too much exercise can also cause cellular damage. So I love this graphic because it just shows you all of the things that are bombarding our bodies and our cells and our genes. And so it's just important to be aware. Know your enemies and know your allies. But the amazing thing about our bodies is that we do not have to be a slave to our genes. And as Susan likes to share, 97% of our genetic code can be changed by our environment and our choices. Only 3% is fixed. That is minuscule. But when you listen to the news or you watch, TV or you see articles, sometimes you get the impression that you are a slave to your genes. If colon cancer runs in your family, will you get colon cancer? In my belief, no. And there's a lot of factors that go into this, obviously, and it's very complicated. But bottom line, you are not a slave to your genes. And that is a good news story. Okay. All right. So one of our enemies, a great enemy to our health and wellness, is oxidative stress. And just like a car rusts over time, oxidative stress takes a toll on our cells and our DNA. And a good way to look at it, another example is an apple. When you put an apple on the counter, if you don't eat it, eventually the it oxygenates and it turns into what you see on the right. Not very appetizing, right? Well, the same thing is going on in our cells. The free radical damage is bombarding our cells, and our cells can go from looking like a normal, healthy cell on the left over to a cell damaged by oxidative stress on the right. So here's just a definition of oxidative stress. Another way to think about it, it's an imbalance between your body's production and bombardment by free radicals versus the body's ability to neutralize those free radicals and their harmful effects. Our body is all about homeostasis. When we're in balance, and we're good. But as soon as things start getting out of balance, that leads to disease, and it affects every organ in our body, and also can play a role in cancer, the creation of cancer. So if you were to go to PubMed and just type in oxidative stress, those two words alone will give you over 30,000 results on PubMed. And you can see the year time frame on there. In the 1960s, there was nothing. 2023, exponential growth in the amount of articles on oxidative stress. And that just gives you an idea of how prevalent it is in our lives. And why should we care? Because oxidative stress is linked to hundreds of disease states. You can see some on this list. And oxidative stress, it affects us neurologically. Like I mentioned previously, every organ system in our body is affected by oxidative stress. So what can we do about it? That's what I'm going to go into next. So knowing our allies, super important. One of our allies in this is antioxidants. And you may try to eat healthy and get your antioxidants, but there's a problem because the antioxidants you eat only can neutralize free radicals at a 1-to-1 ratio. And we are literally being bombarded by trillions of free radicals a day. And, oh, by the way, it's cumulative. So it's just a pile of oxidative stress. It just keeps getting bigger. If you, like, I live in Colorado, when we have a blizzard or a snowstorm, the snow just keeps getting higher, and trying to eat your antioxidants is like trying to remove that snow with a spoon. To neutralize the free radicals that you have per day, you would have to consume that amount of red wine or oranges or blueberries. So 11 pounds of blueberries a day. And when I started with LifeVantage, it was over 2 years ago now. I looked it up, and to eat 11 pounds of blueberries a day would cost $999 if you shopped at Costco. And we all know that the price of food is going up. So what do? Since many of us have a connection with the military, you try to work smarter, not harder, right? We tried that in the military. I don't know if we were always successful, but that is the key. Work smarter, not harder. And I'm going to share a little bit of how to do that. And part of the way you can do that is activate your body rather than trying to supplement your way out of oxidative stress and free radical damage. And there are actually genetic switches in our bodies that we can flip. And those flipped switches can do wonders for our health and our wellness. And I'll go into that a little bit for you. So there's 3 genetic switches that we can activate. One, NRF2, is what we'll focus on today, which has to do with that free radical damage, oxidative stress, and repair. Then there's NRF1 that focuses on your mitochondria. And mitochondrial dysfunction is also a huge part in disease states that you can look up on PubMed. And then sirtuins, or NAD. And that is in the realm of intermittent fasting. That increases your sirtuins. That is very fascinated and complicated, but that is too much for tonight. So if anyone is interested in those 3 pathways, we can send you a YouTube video, 6 minutes, that does a great job of explaining it. But just know there's switches in your body that you can turn on to give your body a leg up to work smarter, not harder. And one of those ways you can do that is with NRF2 activation. So NRF2 activation, what is it? And I'll get more into who created this product, but NRF2 activation is a synergistic blend of 5 herbs that have been used for years and years that flips that NRF2 switch and allows you to neutralize those free radicals. So we do not claim to treat, mitigate, or cure any diseases. This isn't a drug, and it is an activator, which is in the realm of supplements. But what we can claim is, or we can say as a statement, is that we can lower our oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. And as you know now, oxidative stress is a root cause of hundreds of diseases. And you can see some of the other things it does there with antioxidants, which I'll get into a little bit on some next slides. But so the history of NRF2 activation, how did this all come about? Well, it's partially due to a brilliant doctor named Joe McCord, who was coined as the father of free radical biology. And he actually discovered our master antioxidant, which is superoxide dismutase. And you can see at the bottom left of the slide, that is our pyramid of antioxidants. And many of them at the top you may have not heard of yet. And that's part of why we're sharing with you. But superoxide dismutase is that top antioxidant, that master antioxidant. And the cool thing about it is that your body can make it. And your body makes it when you're young. But as you get older, like everything else in our body, the function begins to decline. And that's where activation comes into play. So I wanted to share a little bit of how it started and how it's going. So Protandim NRF2 Synergizer came on the scene in 2005 when ABC did a primetime investigation on it because of the research Dr. McCord was doing. And they were like, oh, we don't know about this guy's claims, what he's saying. Is it true? And so I will probably butcher his name, but John Q, I'll just call him. He did a study. He went in and got his blood tested, got on the Protandim. That's where we got the statement that we reduce oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. And fast forward, he is still activating 17 years later. Why? Because he has experienced the power of activation firsthand. And as MH says, like, blood doesn't lie. Your blood work does not lie. So that is a little bit of how this started. And after this ABC primetime, Protandim sat on the shelf at GNC. But, as time goes on, people forget about the ABC primetime and it just sits on a shelf. So this amazing technology is just sitting on a shelf. And that's when the company shifted to let people like Adrian and I share it with others. So that's what we're doing because we have experienced the power of activation and we want other people to know about it. My personal goal is to share with everyone I love and care about until they all hear about it, because I believe it's that powerful in our lives. And you don't have to take my word for it. There are over 28 peer-reviewed research studies on Protandim and our whole product line, and counting. But you can go to PubMed, you can see all of the institutions that have studied Protandim, and you can do your own research. And if you would like a link to all of these research studies, just let us know. We're happy to share that with you for sure. So activation, it's a powerful tool, and LifeVantage is on the forefront of nutrigenomics, which means we want to give your body what it needs to have your genes protected, to repair, and to increase your health span, so that you live not only longer, but healthier. And we do that with a wide array of products. So if you have a wellness challenge, we have a solution for you. And it's not only for humans, but dogs and horses as well. And a cool thing about the timing of this call is that LifeVantage is actually having a sale starting tomorrow on a lot of the products on the right side of this screen. But they've integrated the NRF2 technology into face care, hair care, pet care, so much, just because of the power of that. And there's some cool things with that. The skincare line came out of the LSU study that showed that the activation from the inside could slow the progression and the incidence of melanoma. So that's why LifeVantage put the technology into skincare. So, like I said, if you've got a wellness challenge, we've got a solution for you. So I just wanted to give you a visual about what's possible, because we know that when you repair your cells, external results will follow. To what degree, we don't know, because there's a lot of factors. But if these things are happening on the outside of our bodies, what's happening on the inside? And as I mentioned before, it's not just humans. You can see the horse there in the top right. Many people use NRF2 activation with their horses because animals experience oxidative stress as well. So you can just see some of the healing that's been possible when you repair your cells. The external results will follow. And one of the newer activation products that we have on the scene is our activated collagen. So there's actually genes for collagen production and degradation, which I didn't know. Amazing, right? Our bodies are miracles. And when we activate them by working smarter, not harder, we can make those repairs. So on the bottom, you'll see some of the results of our collagen, including some people who have used it for healing after a surgery. So to me, that's super impressive. So another ally in your wellness journey is community. Like, we cannot do it alone. I'm so thankful that I have a community of people who care about me and I care about them, and we're on this journey together. For me, my holistic wellness journey started when I found some large thyroid nodules, and the Army doctor told me to get my thyroid out. And I'm so glad I didn't. And that's when another West Pointer, my classmate, told me about holistic healthcare and functional medicine, and looking at ourselves as, a total package, not just isolating a portion of our body and trying to treat that with a drug, but really looking at ourselves holistically. So Adrian and I are not just here to sell you something and then we disappear. We are offering a solution to the challenges that we all face in our wellness journey, but that also comes along with community. And our amazing community, Susan and another gal who lives in Hawaii named Kamaile, just started a Facebook group for our customers, an Activate and Evolve Inner Circle, where we're going to focus on different health aspects each month and throughout the year. And the first one we're going to start with is sleep. So I just let you know that there is a really awesome community here of people who care about you and your wellness, if you care to join us in any way. So I'll leave you with a final word, and that word comes from one of the studies that I mentioned, a Washington State University study that said NRF2 activation may become the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. And to me, that is a very powerful statement, and that's why we share, because we believe in the power of NRF2 activation. And you can also go to PubMed and look up NRF2 and any disease state that you want. There's more and more research coming out on that. Taylor, one of the gals in our community, is a PA, and we're gonna eventually do, hopefully in June, a call on NRF2 and the thyroid, which is one of what I did my capstone paper with for my recent degree. So be on the lookout for that. And if you know anyone with thyroid challenges, definitely let us know. So back to my question in the beginning, a final question for you. What image will arise in your life? And what would that look like if if each of us were deliberate in our creation? We are deliberate creators in our lives, and we have more power than we think. Our creator created our bodies in an amazing way. We were designed to heal when we give our bodies what they need. We can do that. And that is a beautiful thing. So as we finish up the formal part of this presentation, I just want to leave you with that question. What does deliberate creation look like for you? And what image will arise in your life over the years? So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and that's the end of our formal presentation. But yes, does anybody have any questions? We're willing to stay on, maybe after we close out. But Adrian, I'm going to send it back to you. Did you want to share your offer?
Yes. Thank you so much, Mary, for putting all that information together and sharing that with everybody. That was so amazing. I am doing I believe 5%. Am I allowed to do a rebate? Is that right?
Yeah, it would be a rebate.
Yeah, 5% rebate for anybody that wants to try the products. And another product that I forgot to mention was the Axio drink mix that I've been using that really helps with cognitive function, and I've had some brain fog in my past, and that's really helped with that too. So and energy, that really has helped with my energy too. It's hard to remember everything, but so if anybody is willing and wanting to try, just let us know and you can get a 5% rebate.
Awesome. Yeah, the Axio, that's what I'm drinking right now. But yeah, it's a nootropic that's just designed to wake up your brain. So it's activation for your brain. All right, I'm gonna stop the recording. Just feel free to get back with anyone who invited you to this call. If you're watching the replay, just reach out to us. We're here to help in any way we can. And let me stop the share, and we'll keep chatting if anybody wants to chat. But if not, I hope that you all have a great night.